So yeah, that smells of ham. That has a little bit of a ham smell. This is so weird. My booze, it smells like ham. Hey everyone, hope you're having a great one. So it has been 3 weeks and the flower sake has been doing its thing. So we are going to be bottling it up and giving it a taste. Because well, we want to know if this is brewer's glue, as it's been fondly named, or if it's actually something that is drinkable. So if you haven't seen the part 1 video, I will stick the link up there somewhere. So let's do this. So my worktop has been sterilized, so is my siphoning tube, my hydrometer, funny enough, even though I'm not going to use it, it's just force of habit, and the bottles I'm going to be using. So for those people that are new to the channel, you're wondering, where do I get bottles from? Well, you can buy them. I mean, there's a huge market for bottles. You can get some really fancy ones. But I actually recycle my bottles. You can get them out of other people's recycling if you ask nicely, or get up really early. Or I just exchange empty wine bottles for full ones with all weird manner of concoctions. It seems to work, so just if you didn't know. So let's jump straight in. Let's take a look at what we've got. Okay. It's not moldy, so it hasn't gone off. There is still that little whizzes that come up of flour. Because well, it is week 3, not week 4. Doesn't smell bad actually. It's got a little bit of a, I guess, a koji smell. I think that's the really only way how to describe it. And it's not perfectly clear because well, it's still fermenting away. So we're going to take it off the pulp. I've got my wine bottles. I'm going to start with the clear ones so we can get a good look at what it looks like. So I've got my tiny siphoning tube and my brewing peg. Save me a fortune. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it in the bottle. See you in a minute. So the siphoning for the most part has been completed. We have taken the liquid off of basically glue. So I had to stop. As you will see, there is just a kind of thick layer. There's a watery layer which is just on the top, and underneath is a rather not so runny solution. We could try and filter off that last little bit, but it's really not worth it. I was going to get a pan, quickly scorch it, and then use a boiled tea towel. That's the word I was looking for. Peg it on the top and then let it run through, but there's really, I could probably fill up that bottle with what's left. Underneath is a solid lump of, well, brewing glue. Yeah, it is, here you go, might as well just get the hand in. It looks like ice cream or really bad dough. Oddly, it smells like alcohol and ham. Not good ham. Cheap. Packet ham. I have no idea where that ham smells come from. Fizzy. Right. So, like with all homemade sakis, the yield wasn't exactly fantastic. I mean, we brewed on the pulp. I mean, there's all that rubbish in there. Usually, you can, like I say, filter out the vast majority of the solids and regain some of the liquid that's in here, but I really don't think it's worth it. It is quite literally like glue. So we're going to skip that step because, well, it's more trouble than it's worth. And we're going to go to our cheeky bottles that we've made, which have got beautiful labels on. Oh yes, styled in the homebrew wild and cheap style. So I'm going to take this bottle because this was the last one. Got to give it a fair try. So hopefully this does not taste like ham, because that smells like ham. Obviously, plain flour has ham in it. That's all I'm going to say. It does have a slight ham smell. That is odd. But never mind, it has brewed, so this isn't sake, it's ham. got myself a cheeky glass from one of the good bottles that have almost no sediment in, he says, even though it's cloudy, but it hasn't finished brewing, so cheers. It's not cabbage sake, that's all I gotta say. It doesn't taste like ham. Ugh. Woo. It's got a little bit of a fizz to it. Because it's sake, it's got that little bit of kind of lactic acid kind of taste as well. A little bit of a zing. But it's also a little bit sweet because we did stop it early. Cheers. I've got to sample it properly. It does have a different flavour to sake, as you would expect. It's not terrible. Who would have guessed? So I took some time to finish my glass and, well, top it back up, because that's how it's done. And I've actually kind of enjoyed it. It is a bit bland, I will give it that. It tastes like alcohol. It's got a bit of a lactic acid zing. It does have that, but that dies back after you've had a few mouthfuls, probably because it's killed all of your taste buds. Doesn't taste like ham. You'll be glad to know. I mean, considering how cheap this was to make, I have bought things that have tasted worse than this. It's not so bad. It could be made a lot better if you added some fruits in there, or anything really. So what I'm going to do, just as a if you did make this, what could you do with it? This is a raspberry syrup. It's actually, I think it's a Polish one. I think so. It was in the Polish section. And it's basically a squash or a cordial, depending on where you are, except it is all sugar. It's the old school squashes. So I'm just going to add in a little glug of this raspberry. Super sickly sweet. Actually, this stuff is great. You add water to it, or if you're feeling really like adventurous, add it to milk and you make a thick shake. Really good stuff. And it's only like 90p in Sainsbury's. So let's give it a swirl. See, bit of a plug for Polish food. Right. Cheers. Ooh, wow. That needs a proper stir. There we go. Getting the colour. Oh, that's good. So this is raspberry, and raspberry is a little bit tart, and it's also really sugary because it's cordial. But once you add it into this flower sake, that lactic acid zing complements and balances out the really sickly sweet raspberry. Really nice. I'm rather chuffed with that. Okay, I suppose we should come to a conclusion of glue wine, flower sake. So it is cheap. I mean, we got 3 bottles, and we could have possibly got more if we were willing to faff about, but we're not. So 3 bottles, it cost about £3 to make. That's £1 a bottle. It is over 11% because, well, the flour took up some space, and yeah. So it is over 11%. Don't know what percentage it is, but I do feel it, and I have eaten recently. It doesn't have a lot of flavour. That's why we were adding something I like, which is the raspberry squash stuff to it, and it tastes pretty good that way. But yeah, definitely one which is a novelty. And if you're desperate, if you've got nothing else and you really need a drink and you're willing to wait 3 weeks, you can brew flour. You can. That's all I really have to say. So I I really hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Don't forget to check out some of the other ones and leave a comment down below of your suggestions on what we should try and do with some sake brewing. I don't know where that came from. In the future, and one that takes my fancy will do. That's fair enough. I think we'll give that a go. So yeah, carry on homebrewing, guys. See you later. For a bit more. So I just want to take a second to thank my patrons. They're helping me grow the channel, upgrade my equipment, all of that fantastic stuff. And as a thank you to them and for future patrons, I also do 4 Patreon only videos per month. So it's pretty handy if you want a little bit extra. So there's some other links to videos down below, and of course the Patreon and subscribe button. Don't forget to check those out. See ya.